What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we've got another community questions video, which I'm going to apologize for because I know sometimes it gets a little bit much, but just as of the moment I am struggling for time through the day to actually get on and actually play the game, so we are going to do a few of these to keep the content coming, of course, and hopefully you do enjoy all the same. Anyway, today's community questions video, I put the question out to you guys saying, what are some things you've learned after playing for years that made you think, how did I not know this already? How the frick did I not know this already? It happens to me all of the time, and honestly, it's still happening. Like, how can it still be happening? Anyway, we're gonna have a look in this video, see all of the things that people have found out over the years and gone, what the frick? How did I not know about this? So I'm sure there'll be some stuff in here that'll be interesting for a few people. If there's any that you didn't know, let me know how many in the comments down below, and let's get into this and see what we can learn. Alright, so the first comment says, I did not know until recently that the Ring of Vigor also saved adrenaline on special attacks. And the essence of finality, of course, because it's a special attack. So, a lot of people don't know this, actually, because recently, since they started talking about the passive Ring of Vigor, and now that it's in the game, I actually mentioned it a few times on stream, saying like, I mean, it doesn't just apply ults, right? It also applies to all special attacks as well. Everything you use with your Ring of Vigor, and you're going to save adrenaline on all of that. And people were always like, wait, what? Ring of Vigor works on special attacks too? Yes. So now that it's passive, holy crap, is it good. You guys are going to have so much more adrenaline now. So definitely, if you don't have this passive Ring of Vigor, which I don't yet, and it's a little bit hypocritical for me to say, make sure you get it, but make sure you get it because it's definitely good. And I will be working on it probably tonight. I'll probably do a few of the quests, maybe one or two, so I've got quite a few to do. Then we'll get there, and it'll be fine, it'll be good, and I need you to stop being lazy and do them, let's be honest. But yeah, this applies to special attacks. It's brilliant. The next comment comes from Shroudy, and you say, honestly, my mind is still blown from finding out that Gilenore is an anagram for religion. I've said this a couple of times in the past, and of course, on this video, I actually mentioned it as one of the selection things, and it's something that a lot of people don't realize. When I found out, I was like, what? What? No way. And I checked and I was like, holy crap, it is. That's crazy. So it's not a coincidence that the lore goes around like the gods and stuff. It was always planned because Gilenore is an anagram for religion. Did you know this? Let me know. I think a lot of people I think a lot of people probably didn't know. Okay, let's go to the next one. Melissa says, you don't need to make the map bigger to see more of the map. If you hover your mouse over the map and scroll down with the mouse wheel, it'll zoom out. Everything will be a smaller, but you'll see more of the map. I just found this out a few days ago by accident. I had a huge map this entire time to see as much as possible, but it turns out it's unnecessary. Just zoom out. Now, Melissa, I know you'll be watching this because you watch all of the videos and it's brilliant. I love seeing all your comments all the time, right? But what? No, really? Oh no, yeah, this was it default like that? You must have zoomed in by accident at some point. I'm fairly certain that the zoom out is default, maybe. I don't know. Is it default? Someone's gonna have to let me know in the comments. I think the map's default zoomed all the way out though. I could be so wrong. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm glad you figured this out because holy crap. And I wanted to include this because if someone else doesn't know this, then yes, you need to know this. You can scroll in and out over your map and it will zoom in and out and you can get a bigger field of view for a smaller map. All that sort of good stuff. Definitely worth knowing about. The next comment says, hiding familiar options. It took me several deaths by familiar to find that out. So what this person means is you can actually go into your settings and you can disable familiar click options. So like left click options basically. And I think even right click options. And you would have to use the actual either keybinds or you would need to right click the summoning orb on your screen. But it means that when you're PVMing, you can click through your familiar. So if you're trying to run, say for Araxi is probably the best description I can think of. If you're running at Araxi and you're trying to avoid that like little acid core thing, you try to move away, but you're freaking yak or whatever is in the way, your nihil, whatever you're using there, and you click in and you click in and you freaking click on your yak or whatever, and you try talking to it, and like just it can get in the way. It can get in the way pretty much. You're trying to stand somewhere specific, it runs under you and stands on the wrong place. You click on that instead, your guidance decides to have a chat with a freaking yak or something. You can disable this, you can make it so you can't click on them, you can click through them, and it makes life quite a bit easier. I would probably suggest having this if you're a PVMer for sure. But yeah, you go into settings and I believe it's in there under familiar options. Either way, I'll put a screenshot on screen when I'm editing this so you can see where to find it. But yeah, just freaking toggle that. It's so good. Comment number 5 is from Sneak Creeper. You say portent of item protection. It saves 1 item when you die. This is really good, and I use these at Raksha and Karapak, I believe. I should just use it everywhere, but I kind of I die at those places more, and I kind of feel like I should definitely have them there. So, for example, my Raksha death without any portent, without any item protect, is around about 13.5 mil. 13.5 million GP for dying at Raksha. This is because I have an SGB, Essence of Finality. I have a Wyvern Crossbow for it. I have my Staff of Armadil, Full League Tectonic. I have my Prayer Souls, all that good stuff. Bladed Die Switch, everything you can think of that's expensive, all the rune pouches, and Armadil Battle Staff Essence of Finality, Gothic Staff Essence of Finality, like it's all in there. And the prices are so much higher than they probably necessarily need to be. Like, you don't need to have all that gear to do Raksha, but I want to get faster times, and I like bringing it all, and I've paid for an SGB, so it's sat in the bank. I don't want it to just be sat there collecting dust, right? So I bring it along. Anyway, with the item protection, it brings my death cost down to, I want to say, around about 10 mil, so that's 3 mil. Then using the item protection prayer as well, combined with this, because they stack, which means when I die, I don't just keep 3 items protected, I keep 5, because I've got the item protection and the portent of item protection as well. When I die, I keep 5 items, which brings my death cost down to 8 mil. Now, 8 mil is still not great, but it's so much better than 13 mil. It's obviously not like completely doubled, but like half, should I say, but it's freaking close. It is so good. So these, you can just make them. They're not hard to make. You buy some divination energies and you make these, and honestly, absolutely worth using. I would absolutely recommend having them. And if you are someone who does have a high death cost and you don't want to use Ring of Death, then bring these. Of course, Ring of Death kind of cancels the need out for having these, but if you don't use a Ring of Death, like you have the Zerk Ring or anything like that, make these. If you're going to die somewhere, if you're not overly confident, bring one along. It's 1 inventory space. It saves you a lot of money. This next comment comes from Pickle Toe. As you can tell, I'm already laughing. Anyway, this is what it says. I thought you could only decant unnoted vials. Luckily, I found out pretty soon. So, you're not the only person. You're really not the only person. I think it might have even been you. Your name is very familiar. I know you've been in the community questions before. But if it was you on stream when we were talking about this, you actually made my day when you were told me, when whoever it was that told me this on stream made my day. It was brilliant. Such a good laugh. But either way, someone was running from the bank, from the Grand Exchange, with their, like, as they go to the bank, they would get out all their vials because they didn't think they could note them. Then they'd run to the decant person, and then they would change them into the doses they wanted, and then bank and make a preset, and they were running for ages. And they were saying, "Oh my god," because they saw me do it. I got all my stuff out, noted them all up. Went to the herb person, decanted them, and of course it works. It just replaces the notes with the ones that you wanted, because you can do hundreds or thousands or whatever of vials at the same time. So you can do this. Same with flasks as well. You can decant noted items, so you can take them to them, and you can do that. Don't be running to and from the bank, please. Please don't do that. How long has that person? How long have you spent doing this? For God's sake. Oh, well, if there's anyone else that does this, let me know in the comments, because this one's just hilarious, and I'm not laughing at you. I guess I kind of am, but in a nice way. Okay, it's fine. Make our day, please. I don't know. Anyway, moving on from this one. For God's sake. Right, next. The next comment says, Mr. L here. The map being moved by the mouse wheel reminded me of the fact that you can change how far back the camera can go in the settings. I learned that a few short months ago from you actually in it. So what this person is talking about is in settings you can change the camera style. So if you have it set to, there's different options. You've got classic, you've got freedom classic, you got modern, and you got freedom modern. Yes, modern freedom. No, modern. Yeah, whatever. That's something like that. And you can pick between those. Now, the freedom one allows you to zoom out your camera so much further. Now, I know this is one that people won't know about. A lot of people will know about it. Most people maybe know about it, but newer players or people who just don't know about it at all, there's going to be people out there, because this happens a lot. People always say to me in stream, like, holy crap, how can you zoom your camera out so far? Why can you see so much more of the screen than me? Especially when I do things like Arc Glacier, right? Because the Arc Glacier, you kind of zoomed up close normally if you can't zoom back far. So I zoom all the way out so I can see the arena, and you can see most of the Arc Glacier. People go, how can you see him so? How can you see so much stuff? If you set your camera to the freedom modes, freedom classic or freedom modern, whatever it's called, you can zoom back all the way. you can zoom out so far, so freaking far. So definitely have these settings set to that, because it doesn't matter. Like, if you've got freedom, have freedom anyway. There's no reason not to use the freedom settings, because if you don't like zooming out that far, just don't zoom out that far. It's fine. And if you do, then it's useful. If there's a situation where you could use it, it's useful to have, and it's really good for PvM, in my opinion, because you can see so much more on the screen. You can see the area, you can see the elite dungeons where you're blade diving to, your surges and stuff. You can see the outglacier areas for like prayer switching and that sort of good stuff, and it's just good to see more, especially like think about like in the wilderness, the field of view that you get, all that sort of amazing stuff. Just use the freedom ones. There's no reason not to. Yeah, also a quick mention as well, the modern version. Personally, I use the modern camera, not the classic one, because the classic one locks your screen directly on the middle of your character, and it'll never move, right? It doesn't move when you surge. It's quite jumpy. But if you're someone who like misclick stuff when you surge, using the actual modern version, when you surge, your character will go first, and your camera will slowly catch up, right? That's easier to not misclick stuff because your camera doesn't jolt around, at least in my opinion, and that's why I changed. Just thought I'd drop that in here for an extra tip in case anyone was wondering if maybe it'll help them out when they are doing things like bladed dive or like targeting stuff after surging. It's something worth checking. Okay, we're going to take this last comment from Sparty Pants here, so thank you very much, Sparty Pants, for the comment. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, dude. Anyway, you say, hi in it. It took me a while to realize that you could enter the clan citadel via Priv, and longer than that by using the clan Vex. I would always teleport to Port Sarim and run north. Sparty, no. Also, I didn't realize your teleport around the citadel until Salty showed me. You didn't know that you could teleport around the citadel until Salty showed you. Yes, okay, so for anyone who doesn't know this, if there's anybody else out there who doesn't know this, if you get yourself a clan Vex from the actual clan camp in near Falador, you can use that from the bank. Get out of your bank, right click it and press teleport, and it will take you directly to the clan camp right outside of the citadel portal. Okay, so you can get it straight away. Otherwise, yes, there is a citadel portal in Priv as well, so you can go there. But yeah, don't teleport to Port's Room and run north. At least not if the first time you go there, sure, it makes sense, right? But while you're there, if you join a clan or anything like that, grab yourself a Vex, a cloak as well, which is useful for like your fealty and stuff. But grab yourself a Vexilum, and you can use that to teleport directly to the citadel. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And also around the citadel, if you click on the world map in the citadel, you can click on all the plots and it will teleport you around the plots as well. You don't have to walk, and quite a lot of people actually don't know about that. The citadel and stuff isn't huge content for most people, so when you do get there, maybe this knowledge will be in the back of your mind if you're someone who hasn't been there just yet. When you do get there, it'll be there and you'll know, and it might save you a little bit of time, and that's kind of what I hope will happen. Okay, so that brings us to 8 comments, 8 things that people didn't know about until recently, and probably longer than they would have liked to not know about it. There's a few funny ones, and honestly, there's so much stuff. Like I mentioned in the selection thing about auras have red dots on each corner, so there's 1 dot in each corner. It's either tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4 auras, depending on how many red dots there is. So if there's 2, then it's tier 2. If there's 3, tier 3, and you can see that without even having to like know specifically. You don't have to wiki it and find out what tier it is for an aura reset. Just look at the red dots around the icon, and that's the tiers. Pretty clever. And finally, I know a lot of people already know this, but a lot of people also get like blown away and go, what the hell? You can move your camera mouse. You can move your camera in game by dragging these scroll wheels. If you click the scroll wheel in and then drag along your screen, your camera will move, and that's how I do it. You don't have to have WS, A, and D keybound. A lot of people do like to have them keybound for the camera. You don't have to, but a lot of people do, so it is what it is. But if you're someone who doesn't really care about that and you're comfortable using the middle mouse button and dragging, you can get yourself another 4 nice, comfortable, easy keybinds for PVM or whatever you're doing there, and you can definitely unbind those and set it to just be in your mouse wheel. So hopefully that helps. But anyway, like I said, that was 8 things. I added 2 in there, so that's 10 altogether. How many did you get out of 10 in the comments down below? Let me know. Also, did you know that subscribing to me gives you a plus 5% DPS buff as well? Guaranteed to work. Look at the votes on this. It's 50% people agree, so it must be true. Obviously it doesn't, but if you want to subscribe and you haven't already, then click the subscribe button and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And other than that, guys, thank you to the channel members who support the channel that bit extra each and every day. I really do appreciate it. Your names will have been on screen. Otherwise, like I say at the beginning of this video, there'll be a few more like videos like this. They don't necessarily include like lots of in-game stuff, and I do apologize for the short term, but once everything once the time and stuff's fallen back into place and everything like that, then we'll be back to normal, and it'll be fine. It'll be good. Hopefully you guys will enjoy either way. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate that too, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later, guys.